tell me a little bit more about syntropy? Because it's such a wonderful and fascinating concept. I mean, it's beyond a concept, but it's not something that's, we commonly talk about. So we're all familiar with this idea of entropy, right? And we've been taught since we've been maybe in fifth or sixth grade that entropy is the sort of natural state of things. And, everything decays, everything dies. And so we know that's part of universal law. Absolutely. We see that all around us in ourselves and everything else. What do we mean when we talk about syntropy? Can you break that down for us a little bit?
Well, the scientific term for syntropy, what syntropy is the opposite of entropy. Okay. And so entropy is the tendency of systems to lose order over time. A tree falls in the forest and it turns back into soil. That's an entropic process. And so that's all we really learn about. But the opposite happens is that from the chaos of the forest floor, a tree emerges and is created and grows. Or I grew two babies in my belly, right? You grew two babies in your belly. That's entropy.
Mhm.
Because life, yes, life turns into entropy, but life is always giving rise to syntropy, new things, new creation. I mean, it's the miracle of life itself that anything comes into being, that anything assumes order and maintains it. And science calls that negative entropy.
That is hilarious.
It's
That's so
ridiculous.
interesting. I mean, if we think about that from just a cultural point of view, and if I might share the way I describe kind of forces of the universe, and many people I'm sure describe it the same way. If we think about the letters God, for example, the generating, orchestrating, and destroying forces, right? That are just part of life. So we've been kind of emphasizing the destructive aspects and the separatist aspects, which from one lens, that is true. And then there's this syntropic, kind of what we call sometimes salutogenic, right? Health promoting. So I think what I'm hearing you say is this energy that you've tapped into, that you've learned to kind of feel with your forks, that, that there is sort of this syntropic force within us that helps to generate healing on all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally. It has something to do with plasma, right? And 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 you can detect it, you can sense it, you can feel it, right? And I understand that a lot of your book is about kind of sensing into this force within us, right? And how we kind of tap into it for our own self-care. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just aliveness. It's such an interesting thing in our culture how these basic things like the idea that the body has a magnetic field, right? It's all dismissed. That's nonsense. But that dismissal goes against a basic law of physics. Anything that has electric current running through it has a magnetic field around it. So there's a lot of, what's the energy in energy medicine? Oh, we don't know. Not, that's nonsense. And I'm saying, you know what energy and energy medicine is? It's electricity. It's the electricity in your body. We're conductors of electricity. When I lay my hands on you, I'm putting electrical current into you. Why have we made this into some woo supernatural weird thing when it's straight up, it's pretty simple. It's really pretty simple. And um, and it's aliveness, anything. And as long as you've got a field present, you have organization and syntropic processes happening in your body. When your life force departs, there's nothing to keep things organized anymore, so you begin to decay. Like anything, cut a flower, it will immediately begin to decay because it's been cut off from the life force that is organizing it, the organizing intelligence of life itself, which is something that's just been kind of denied, like it doesn't even exist. We're just going to call that negative entropy and not really talk about that.